All right, we're good. All right, welcome to the Memorial Day live stream, where we do it live. We do it live. And I'm doing a bonus live stream today because I'm bored and I have nothing to do. And well, I should be writing, but my whole day was disrupted thanks to because it was the only browser that was having no problems. Like there were just no problems with it. And then out of the blue, I got an error. I'm doing my normal routine. I'm watching Sticks and Hammer. I'm clicking on sites. I'm doing stuff. And then suddenly, the entire computer seized up. And I blame Chrome. They just did an update. Something went very wrong. And now I'm switching to Brave. I know a lot of people use it. I was on Brave very early on, but I had problems using it. As you know, I open a million tabs, and people always get on me for that. so, so now I'm back. I'm back, Brave. I'm back, and I'm slowly trying to reconfigure all my social media, trying to get back on everything. It's a pain in the neck. It makes me angry. But here we are. Here we are. So what are we doing today, Joan? Well, we're going to try to do the News Blast live. Now, I have to be a little careful on YouTube going through the news. There's certain news I'm just not even going to, I'll skip over it. So if you see me on a news thing and you go, oh, wait a minute, what's that news story? Go easy on me because I am on YouTube and I'm trying to stay on it at least until they really purge everybody. But I will try to be as honest as possible, as much as YouTube will allow me. Oh, let me switch over to this live chat. But don't go nuts, especially about certain medical things. I know YouTube's very sensitive about that. And a few other things. So we'll see if we can walk through this landmine minefield together. Landmine field. I don't know. I was gonna say yesterday I was really tired when I did the live stream, and now I'm not as tired. But apparently I'm still the synapses are not making the connections. It's probably because these damn allergies. Oh man, my allergies. And last night, after I got off the stream, I took an allergy pill, and man, it knocked me out. I was like out of it, completely out of it. Couldn't keep my eyes open. Thankfully, I had Arden is here. Hello, missed you last night due to an exploding sewer. Oh my God, a sewer? Well, I have to hear that story. What? You had a sewer explode? What is happening in Canada? Your entire infrastructure is falling apart. That's terrible. That's terrible. And what are the sewers like in Canada? Are they full of dead beavers, I'm guessing? Or perhaps frozen dead beavers? Maybe it's all frozen. Exploding sewer. Jesus. God, there's nothing worse than that. For me, I have to deal with flooding in my basement. And I have a system for it. There is a sump pump, and it runs almost continually from now, or actually it started running in March with the spring thaw, and it hasn't stopped running since because it's been so rainy here. And I also have two dehumidifiers running 24/7 in my basement to keep it dry. Thankfully, they work wonders. But despite the sump pump and two dehumidifiers, the basement is still pretty wet when it rains. And one time I accidentally I was adjusting the sump pump because I was having problems with a hose, and I moved it, and it somehow disconnected the power to the sump pump, and then I went back down there a few hours later, and already the French drain I had filled to the top and then overflowed, and I had like an inch of water. Ardent, LOL, I'm being dramatic. It was just a bit of a backup. It was also foul enough to drive us out for the night until the problem got sorted today. Oof. Well, I'm glad you got it sorted out, buddy. Jesus. That's not good. Yeah, for me, the water that comes up is pretty clear. You could probably drink it. I wouldn't, but you probably could. So, thankfully, Ardent, Newfoundland and New Jersey have that in common. Very wet. Ours is because we have basically no topsoil over our bedrock. Well, in South Jersey, we're very close to sea level, and it's actually very swampy here. Back in the 1700s, this pretty much would have been all, it's basically swamp, pinelands, and it's very fertile, but there's not much in terms of it's just a lot of swamp. So when I was a kid, there's a baseball field not too far from my old house and not too far from here. I don't live far from where I used to live as a kid, and if you hit the ball into the woods, you'd have to go get it, and it was pretty swampy. We had skunk cabbage, a lot of that, if you've ever seen that, and just swamp. You walk in there and it's like you sink up to your ankles in mud, and or worse if you go deeper in. So, but New Jersey has pretty excellent drainage. Because everywhere you go, they're constantly building, drainage systems, and because you have to have good drainage in New Jersey, especially South Jersey, or else things flood. So now down the shore, the big problem is when there's a big rainstorm, the streets just flood. So the ocean will literally come down the street in some areas, depending on where you are. So we're pretty close to sea level here, and because the entire continental United States is shifting west, it's kind of like, if you can imagine, a big pile of sand and you in the water, and then you kind of pull it and it's just thinning out. That's kind of New Jersey. We're on the end that's thinning out, like New Jersey's breaking away from the continent as it drifts very slowly, of course. I think it's a foot a year. Yeah, that's why we have to rebuild our beaches every year in certain places. And it's just very wet. So the ground here is absolutely soaked. Absolutely soaked. And I'll tell you my bamboo story. I have bamboo. My neighbor has bamboo. Now, of course, if your neighbor has bamboo, then you have bamboo. So enjoy that. It sucks. But the only way to stop it would be to install metal plates in the ground, remove all the bamboo and then install metal plates so the bamboo can't grow underground to your side. And of course, I don't have the money to spend on metal plates. Perp minded. South Jersey is an interesting place. Been here my whole life, I think I meant to say. Well, thank you, perp minded, fellow Piney. Good to see you. So I don't want to install these metal plates. I don't have the money. So I have to put up with bamboo growing in the yard. Now, normally it grows one time. Like, it grows out of control for like about a week or two. And then I take a shovel and I uproot it all and I throw it out. And that's usually all I have to do, This year, I've already had to do it twice, and now I got to do it a third time because it's just growing like crazy. The bamboo is growing insanely fast. You can almost see it grow. That's how fast it grows. And if you let it go too long, I'll tell you how fast it grew. So I have in my backyard a pile of these posts. They're like metal posts. I don't know what they're used for. I think I used them to prop up the old fence before I got it replaced. But it's like one was sitting like this. A piece of bamboo grew underneath one end and lifted it up. And literally, one day it was like here, the next day it was almost standing straight. And then the next day it had already fallen over. It was crazy. It grows insanely fast. And I've thrown out now 4 trash cans worth of bamboo. And now I have to do it again. I'll probably get another trash can. It's crazy. Anyhow, don't grow bamboo unless A, you're a panda, or B, you want to like screw all your neighbors. And the neighbor behind me, so it's like the neighbor on my left has the bamboo wall. The neighbor behind me is also getting the bamboo, but he's not even trying to pull it out. So he just started to let it grow. So now he has a bamboo wall too. One he never wanted. And it's just growing and growing out of control. Now I'm killing it as fast as it grows, but he's not doing nothing. I'll soon be completely surrounded by bamboo. You know, in another 20 years, I'll be completely surrounded. You know, if they ever turn my house into a historical site, oh, that's when author Tony D lived. You'll go there and go, wow, he must have loved bamboo, because there's bamboo everywhere here. Probably take over the whole damn town. All right, so what are we here to do today? I'm going to try to not get myself in trouble. We're gonna do the news blast live, and we're gonna look at some news. Now, go easy on me, because you know how much trouble we can get in YouTube. So, starting off with dissenter, of course. Nuclear option has foreign central banks dodging the dollar and going for gold. That's probably not a good sign, if true. That's from CD Media, and they tend to be a little hyperbolic. But that's already been a trend. I know the Russians have bought a ton of gold. The Chinese have bought some, allegedly. Kind of hard to tell with either one, really, but yeah, the dollar might be in big trouble, and they might be preparing for it. Pakistani Christian man in stable condition after mob attacks. Police arrest 26 of 44 suspects. This was in Pakistan. Unfortunate. Memorial Day tributes. 2 military labs race against time to identify World War II remains. Race against time from World War II? That doesn't seem to jibe. I guess they're trying to do it for Memorial Day. Amicus brief filed against Mexico's effort to eliminate America's gun industry. How the hell is that going to work? I don't even understand that one. Ardent, the CCP is buying up gold mines here in Canada. I'm not surprised. You might as well be run by the CCP. They might actually run it better than Trudeau. You have the worst. He is the worst Western leader. I think even worse than the UK. The UK system is at least crazy enough. They're getting killed. The conservatives are getting absolutely hammered. But they were never very effective to begin with, and they may eventually have a huge pushback in, I don't know, another 4 to 6 years. But there doesn't seem to be much hope in Canada until your election finally happens. God willing. At Perp Minded from Ardent, gonna have to get down there one day. Come to South Jersey for the blueberries. Ooh, blueberry season coming soon. Ardent, LOL. Are the Mexican government trying to keep the cartels from getting shot by Texans? Don't kid yourself. Trudeau is already run by China. Yeah. Holly M is here. Castro's son. LOL. Yes. It's a shame. I feel very bad for my friend's Canadian, locally here. He lives in Jersey, and he He is the biggest Trump fan. Yeah, he is. He is the king of Trump fans. He went to the Wildwood rally, said it was great. He didn't call me, but I forgive him because I was busy anyway. But there was no way I was going to get into the Wildwood rally, though. Last time it was so crazy you couldn't even get to the island. Ardent doing a word play. Castro, like spelling it Trudeau with the E-A-U. Clever. Let's see. 2,000 people reportedly buried alive in tragic landslide. Jesus. That is terrible. That is terribly tragic. Where the hell is this? Papua New Guinea. Oh my God. Well, they're dead. I mean, obviously. There's just nothing you could do. I mean, if you don't get them out of there within a few minutes, they're done, essentially. Maybe one or two might have an, air pocket to last them. Or be buried in such a way there's still air, but Jesus. Wow. The landslide engulfed a 200-meter section of the main highway in the province, burying it under debris measuring 6 to 8 meters, 20 to 26 feet deep. So I guess they're in cars, so maybe. Yeah, I guess you could survive in the car for a while. I don't know, would it be pretty airtight, you gotta figure, if your car was completely buried. Earth-moving equipment from Papua New Guinea military was being transported to the disaster site, situated 250 miles from the east coast. Oh, man. Unless you've got a steady air supply, I think you're probably dead, unfortunately. Jesus. How are so many people buried? That's nuts. That is nuts. Well, condolences to the Papua New Guineans. That is terrible. Jesus. New York City hotels profit from migrant shelter program amid room shortage. This is exactly what happened in the UK. Fortunately, for us, the United States is a very big country, and so far, it hasn't come. It's kind of ruined parts of New York and parts of the other country, parts of the other cities, but so far it hasn't gotten totally out of control. But geez, New York City, it's not helping New York City. New York City has a lot of problems. You add that, I mean, they're just destroying hotels in New York now. It feels like, to me, that maybe part of this is a planned way to destroy a bunch of hotels that are struggling to stay open in a bad economy. You got to figure having a hotel in New York is already astronomically expensive. And the life cycle of a hotel, one that's not historic, sort of goes, you open the hotel and it's brand new and everybody stays there, and then it's around for a few years, and then as it starts to degrade, you come up to a point at which you have to remodel, right? You have to keep remodeling the hotel at some level because it just wears out depending on how much traffic it gets. And you got to figure in New York, it's just endless traffic. But you reach a point where so many people go to the hotel so quickly, it wears it out too fast. And you kind of can't make money off of it. But these migrants, don't matter how nice the hotel is, really. And if they're getting government money, which I think they are, they're going to make money as long as, literally every room will be filled. So that's 24/7, sure. Even though they might make lower than, say, a guest, it makes up for it because they're there on a Monday. They're there on a Tuesday. They're there for months. And you're just constantly making that money. constantly, and God knows what other charges they're adding up. Are they getting room service and Toblerones? I don't know. So you're making money 24/7 at this migrant hotel. It's all coming from the government, even though the migrants are going to destroy it. But when this is all over, they're just going to knock over they'll just sell the building or the land, or they'll just gut it and refurbish the whole place. So it's a win-win for the hoteliers, and the guy who owns the hotel, not really the hoteliers. You could also fire basically all the staff. I mean, you don't really need, you need more guards than you do, actual staff. You're not going to open the restaurant anymore for the migrants. I guess maybe you could, if you got to feed them too. But, it's just a mess. All these people need to be sent home. And that's the only way you're going to fix New York, partly. You got to send all the migrants home. I know, it's controversial, YouTube. I know. God forbid people live in their own countries. It's crazy. But, come winter time, I think they'd be better off in warmer climes. Too many people are living on the street in New York, and they just don't have the money to keep them there and feed them. Breaking, for those of you into basketball, NBA Hall of Famer Celtics legend Bill Walton dies at 77. Seems a little early for an athlete. That's a shame. Not great headlines today. Netanyahu responds to strike that killed Hamas terrorist leaders, civilians, investigating the incident. I'm not sure why. Wasn't that on purpose? Gavin Newsom signals radical pro-abortion legislation in response to Arizona's pro-life law. So he continues to be our version of Justin Trudeau. Awful. Communist, I believe. I mean, this is a guy who doesn't clean up his cities until the premier of China shows up. Oh, and then they'll clean up the city. Oh, yeah. He's a weird dude. U.S. Bishop James Conley, Pope Francis should support, not criticize American Catholics. Okay. I'm not sure the commie Pope's going to do anything good, quite frankly. Joe and Hunter Biden used visit to Sandy Hook Memorial Service to set up secret meeting with communist Chinese over $10 million deal. I mean, how much more of this stuff is going to come out? This is from the Gateway Pundit, YouTube. How much more do you need at this point? I don't know. My older relatives, they just, they have cognitive dissonance. They have exactly what Yuri Bezmenov talked about. They have this cognitive dissonance. They just don't believe it. You could show them this. You could show them all the evidence. They wouldn't believe it. They would go, well, this is just normal stuff. They don't drill down. They're just partisan. And it's sad. There's a lot of older people are like that. I talked about it on a live stream last night. It's all about that media bubble. And it's really tough to break. It won't be until literally Joe Biden would have to come to their house. Right? Like, imagine Joe Biden's on a campaign stop, and they just roll in, and Joe Biden breaks every dish in the kitchen of one of my relatives and curses at him, and then leaves, and then they're outraged at his behavior, and then they watch the news that night and see a glowing report of the visit. Then maybe they would be like, wait a minute, aren't it? The Treachery of the Elites, the title of this chapter of history in the West. Well, they've always been treacherous, I say. It's just now they are particularly treacherous because A lot of it, I think, has to do with the disconnect of the elites from religion. Now, they were always hypocrites, even when religion was a thing that most people had. But now they're so far removed from it, they're frightening, because they're so hedonistic. They're so divorced from any kind of list of rules from themselves as a person. They, yeah, they just don't care, At least before, when we were ruled by religious hypocrites, you can imagine like some of those hypocrites being like, I'm gonna go to hell for this. Right? At least they felt bad, which would kind of make them hesitate not to go too far off the rails. Now, I mean, like Trudeau, I think, and Gavin Newsom are perfect examples of two guys who are completely devoid of any kind of principles whatsoever. They have no principles, zero. And they're leaning towards communism because they just see that as, oh, well, this will make me more powerful. Why shouldn't I do that? And then I can be the one to give everybody money. If I decide to give them money, I would be in control of literally everything. That sounds like a win. I think that's the way they think. And damn anybody else who thinks differently. Massachusetts stabbing spree suspect Jared Ravizza was laughing during movie theater attack, mom says. Again, like a lot of YouTubers, I have to agree, we had to bring back asylums. Clearly, to me, someone who would go on a stabbing spree is out of their mind and needs to, and if they're not, they need to be jailed for a very long time, but I assume they usually are insane, and an insane person needs to be committed, at least until they're not insane anymore. Someone who goes on a stabbing spree, that's pretty insane to me. That rises to the level of at least a 7, that they would just randomly start stabbing people. That's part of the reason I don't like to go out anymore. I mean, Jesus. And when I'm in a place like Philadelphia, I got my head on a swivel, man. I don't let my guard down for a second in Philadelphia until I'm inside a restaurant with my back to the wall. And if I don't have my back to the wall, I'm a little antsy. That I don't go to places like Philly anymore, New York, even Atlantic City. Atlantic City, I know pretty well. That I know the areas. Like you're in the casinos, you're relatively safe. You're anywhere out on the street, watch yourself. Watch yourself. Even thing that shocked me yesterday, someone got stabbed in Ocean City. Now, Ocean City, New Jersey, is a dry town, never had a reputation for any kind of shenanigans. And within 2 days this weekend, they had the stabbing incident, which caused a panic on the boardwalk. And there was a brawl, I think, the day before. And now the mayor of Ocean City is ready to crack down. And let me tell you something, it's Ocean City. They will crack down. I mean, it's already a dry town. You could kiss your boardwalk privileges goodbye on the boardwalk, kids, because they will shut you down. They will institute a curfew, and you won't see a single kid on the boardwalk, which is fine with me. But the problem with the boardwalk in Ocean City is, to me, it's kind of boring, but at least it's safe. I mean, it's kind of boring, but I'd go. I ain't going to Philly anymore. No. It's not safe. There's nothing really there anymore for me. I'd rather go to Hamilton, blueberry capital of the world, and hang out there. Hamilton's pretty safe. Hamilton's pretty safe. Not too many people. It's not crime-free, but it's pretty safe. I don't feel like I got to worry about a crazy person snapping and just start stabbing people at random. No. In Philly, I do, though. That was Massachusetts where that happened. Let's see. Biden lifting weapon sales on ban, a weapon sales ban on country he previously called a pariah. I believe this is the weapons ban, on Saudi Arabia. Yes. So he's lifting that. It's kind of pointless anyway. The Saudis have so much money, they can get whatever they need. So, might as well make the money. Louisiana House passes bill to allow law enforcement to arrest illegal immigrants. Okay. What are you going to do with them, though? That's the problem. The problem is not arresting them. Plenty of places have done that. The problem is, what do you do after you arrest them? If you can't deport them, then, you essentially got to take care of them. So I hope they'll allow them to deport them, and I feel bad for some of these people, but a lot of them just need to go home at this point. Israel excavators discover a 2,300-year-old gold ring at the City of David site. Cool. That is awesome. It's got a red precious stone, and it's believed to be 2,300 years old. Wow. Man, I want to do archaeology. Oh, man. I want to find something cool like that. There's stuff in South Jersey. I want to find... My goal now is to find pirate treasure. I really want to find some pirate treasure in South Jersey. That'd be cool. I don't need to find a lot of it. Like, if I just found a little tiny box like this big with just a couple of jewels and some coins in it, I'd be so excited. You'd never hear me stop talking about that, by the way. Oh, man, I'd lose my damn mind. But it's possible. One day. I don't have... I was going to get... I was actually going to invest in a top-of-the-line metal detector. But then I read an article about how the batteries cause bladder cancer somehow. And I just thought, oh, no, I don't want that. Ardent, Tony got the Indiana Jones urge. I absolutely do. Ardent, there's a lot of pirate treasure here in Newfoundland as well, supposedly. Oh, neat. But the ground's all frozen. How do you get to it? How did the pirates dig in your frozen ground? Ardent, oldest thing I ever found was a spearhead. Yep, I found some of them. I did have a cheap metal detector when I was a kid, but I never found anything good. I just found a lot of bottle caps, pieces of metal, trash, essentially. But it was fun. It is fun to have it and dig it up. But man, one of these days, if I have money to waste, I would like to be one of those old guys on the beach with the metal detector. But I don't want to get bladder cancer, so I'm going to have to wait until they figure that out. Maybe I could wear a leather smock or something. I don't know. Ardent, LOL, hidden caves, you, and shipwrecks supposedly. Huh. Yeah, we don't have caves in South Jersey. That was one thing I had to describe in the Pineys, because I wanted to have a cave for book 7, and then I realized, oh, there are almost no caves in South Jersey. So I had to make a point of all the characters going, what? A cave? There are no caves in South Jersey. So to make it unusual, because it is. Ardent, steal an x-ray blanket from the hospital? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, maybe. Either that, or maybe by now they figured it out. Of course, now I don't have the money to buy one, but yeah, maybe that'll be a cool retirement thing. But the places I want to go, it's illegal in New Jersey to go, and that is like historical sites. But I know through my research there are some, I would say, historical sites that aren't considered legally historical sites, so I think it's okay to go there. So I'd be all about it. Ardent, wear it as a cloak, be the metal detecting wizard of South Jersey legend. Ooh, I like the sound of that. But like yesterday or the other day, I tried to find the gravesite of Joe Mulliner, who's the highway bandit of South Jersey, and from the Revolutionary War. But there was too much undergrowth in the Pine Barrens, and I was in shorts, so I said, I'll wait until the fall. But or I got to go back with long pants on a day that wasn't blazing hot. It was also blazing hot. So the other thing I thought of is I could go back into the woods, and to cut the underbrush, I'll bring a scythe and I'll just cut a path. I think that's legal. I don't think I would get in trouble for that. Holly M, what's the homes are on historical sites like near Tenet Cemetery? What's the homes? What? Sorry, I mean many homes. Many homes are on the historical sites like near Tenet Cemetery, Monmouth Battlefield. Yeah. Yeah, some homes are off limits too, I think, but I guess if you live there, you could probably do it, right? I know there are, like, for instance, when I was going to search for Joe Mulliner's grave, there is an inn, I think it was called like the Indian Mills Inn or something, and that used to be an inn, but now it's a residence. So the question would be, would they be able to dig on their own property? I think so. Ardent, yeah, here and there, severe limitations on shipwreck diving. Well, maritime law says, I believe, anything that washes up on shore is golden. You can take it. But in terms of shipwreck diving, it depends on what waters it's in. So, Ardent, also, hello, Holly, how are you? Says Ardent. So the big shipwreck, it turns out it's off the coast of Colombia, and it's in Colombia's waters, because I think it's, 7 miles? So it's within 7 miles. There's a shipwreck they found, and the cargo is estimated to be worth $17 to $20 billion in terms of the gold. Holly says, I am good, thanks for asking, hope you are well. Ardent, better now the sewer smells out of the house. So, yeah, that's a ton of money. And so the Colombian government is laying claim to it, which I can't blame them. That would literally, wipe off their national debt, I think. I don't know how much debt Colombia has, but I bet it's not over $20 billion. And so it's going to be interesting to see if the cartels somehow take all that gold or something, or if the Colombian government will take it. I gotta imagine the Colombian government's kind of corrupt, so, but maybe they would do some good things with it. But the Spanish, of course, want some of the money because technically it was theirs 300 years ago. So everybody's suing everybody else to get it. And the poor guys who found it, I guess they're getting nothing. I don't know why. That's why I say if you find treasure, shut the F up. If I found treasure, my first goal would be to secure ownership of it and then figure out things. Not to go, look, guys, I found treasure. No. Get it in your house and don't tell anybody. I say. Ukraine investigating Kharkov region commanders. Okay. So things continue to fall apart in the Ukraine, I assume. No, video games did not cause the Uvalde massacre. Yeah, I'm already on that. Thank you, Red State. Big city mayor in talks with ICE on how to roll back city's sanctuary laws. Oh, wow. So Eric Adams actually wants to roll back the sanctuary city laws. Good. That's a step in the right direction. It's a baby step, a baby of baby steps. I mean, how, the problem is, of course, you have Joe Biden in the White House. You don't want to deport anybody, so that's a problem. That's a real problem. And here's another prediction. If some, God forbid, Biden gets back in the White House for a second term, he's going to deport all you people. Yeah. He's going to just suddenly go, okay, deportation is a big issue. Now that I'm president again, okay, we can deport all these people. He'll deport them because he ain't going to care. He'll say, oh, well, look, I solved all the problems. I deported everybody. He won't deport everybody, not like Trump, but he'll deport a bunch of people. And then he'll make a big show of like, see, we deported 20% of the criminals that came to this country illegally. And he'll cite some sort of number. That's up 40% from last year. Let's see. Liberal media scream. MSNBC regular cites Clarence Thomas's white wife in racist rant? What the hell? Some of my older relatives watch MSNBC and it's very disheartening. Holly, they need them here to try and make it so they can vote. That's part of the plan, but that's a very long-term plan. It's more that they don't even need them to vote. They just need them for the census so they can, if they import them to places like New York that are already blue, then New York State gets like maybe like an extra representative, which will also be blue, which will also tilt the House blue. So it's kind of a long range. They don't actually turn them into voters, although they're trying to make it legal for illegal aliens to vote. And they keep trying to weaken voter ID laws. But I think that is a losing proposition. And I think they know they're going to eventually lose that. Because eventually, if they manage to institute everything they want to institute, which would be like a Chinese-style social media credit score, they'll have everybody registered. And then they'll 100% know who's going to vote what. They also think, I believe, that if they can impoverish enough people and make them dependent upon the state, they will also continue to vote Democrat because they'll essentially be voting for the party that will give them more money. Essentially. Which, again, is a poor strategy. There's not enough people, even if they manage to bring about a Great Depression, there's not enough people to do that, and then there's no money. So it's a very dumb, stupid strategy. So I'm hopeful that we're on the pushback for 2024. We get Trump in, we get back the Senate. The House is 50-50, but we might get it back. We might keep the House, but we might not. I'm optimistic that we could keep the House, but we'll see. NYC man threw a firebomb on subway. DA focuses instead on political prosecution of Donald Trump. Okay, sounds like New York. So still an S show. Finnish Supreme Court to hear case of politician charged with hate speech for citing the Bible. So there's something that the left said would never happen, and it's happened. Once again, it's happened. So, craziness. Now, it's not happened here, which is what they would immediately say, but it's happened somewhere, according to LifeSite, which is a very religious site. So, it's biased for religion, but I think that's a legit headline. I've seen stuff on that story before. Let's see. Secretaries of State from Arizona, Georgia trade barbs on non-citizen voting under voter ID. Yeah, I don't think anybody wants this. I think, you might get it in a couple of districts, but that's about it. Here's what we talked about yesterday. Hollywood catastrophe. Theaters see the worst Memorial Day box office in decades. Yes, they did. I don't understand it. Didn't anybody want a female Mad Max? I don't think so. All right. Nigerian First Lady warns nation's young women against emulating nakedness of American film stars. Well, good for her. Kind of based. Biden visits daughter-in-law's home ahead of her expected testimony in Hunter Biden trial. Yep, let's get our story straight here. So this is what you're going to say. Well, I thought I'd say the truth. Shut up. Here's what you're going to say. U.S. government cartel paid CVS Walgreens billions to reject ivermectin prescriptions, push COVID shots, according to CD Media. I'm just reading the headlines. YouTube. Ardent, based Nigerian. Yeah. So this is Dr. James Thorpe and attorney Maggie Thorpe on Monday published an article in American Out Loud News exposing the U.S. government's scheme to suppress ivermectin and push COVID-19 shots. If true, I totally believe it, that's very, very bad. But we can't talk about that because it's YouTube. I purchased every misguided Oreo offshoot product I could find at a roadside convenience store. This is what I discovered. Okay. This interests me because it's about food. Oh, don't you have pictures? Oreo iced coffee. Not for me. I don't like coffee. Most stuff. So that was like Oreo, like double stuff, only like it's got 6 grams. Oh no, wait, Mega Stuff 11 grams, and Mega Stuff has even more than that. Oh, here it is. So Oreo Delight. Oh, it's iced coffee made with milk and cream. Oh, I thought it was a cookie. I definitely don't want that. Peanut butter cakesters. Okay. It's got peanut butter in it? I mean, that sounds good. I like peanut butter. Oreo brownie? That's like double chocolate Oreo. I would probably like that. Minis? No. No, that's just dumb. Sour Patch Kids? Ew, that sounds gross. Ew, come on. Too much. Pull back, Oreos. Pull back. Okay. All right. That's about it. Birthday cake Oreos. I hear they're kind of interesting. Those I would try. Ew, there it is. Sour Patch Kids. Oh, that's gross. That is disgusting. I would never eat those. Yeah, minis are dumb. Brownie Oreos. Oh, so they got pieces of Oreo in a brownie? No. Ew. Why would you do that? Doesn't make any sense. Oh, this is the Cakester. So it's not a cookie, but it's cake. No. Thank you. I mean, oh, it's from Sheets. Weird. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Only because it has peanut butter. Oh, here it is. This is the double Mega Stuff. Oh my God. Jesus. That's gross. That's just gross. I don't know. That's too much sugar. Maybe one. Like, if you had a pack and you say you want to try one, I'd try it. But like a whole pack, I think I'd be in a sugar coma after eating that. Along with my diabetes. All right, let's get through this. Trends always takes forever. Let's see. Arizona uses state pension plan to push woke agenda, so enjoy that, Arizona. Arizona's really going downhill. you know, Razor Fist, I think, has stated on multiple occasions it's mostly the California influence. It's like they're pouring money into the state to turn it into their little version of California, which is so weird and creepy when you think about it. You know, we're supposed to be separate states in the United States. Okay, if you want to turn your state into a hellhole, California, go ahead. Do it. Turn it into a friggin' hellhole and live there. But now you're going to use your California Democrat money to turn Arizona into another California? Why? Why do that? It sounds creepy and weird. Diners moved to tears by Chick-fil-A's memorial displays. Oh, that's kind of nice, I guess. They put like a little flag and a, you know, as if saving a spot for the late service member. So that's nice. I guess they would be open today because it's not a Sunday. Oh, I'm getting that. I'm blowing up on the phone. I gotta get answer that at some point. All right, that's about it for these headlines. Moving on to Libertarian Institute, The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and Our Societal Detachment from War. Yeah, I was explaining on the stream last night how Memorial Day is so detached from, at least here in South Jersey. I mean, they'll probably have, you know, they have parades and stuff on Monday, but a lot of people are just down the shore. They're just doing their shore thing. It's just another day for them. There's really not a lot going on. It's, well, I shouldn't say that. The focus is not the memorial. The focus is 3-day weekend. So, louder with Crowder. Caitlin Clark taking heat from dominating the WNBA while being white, straight, and tall and attractive, according to sources. That's unfortunate, if true. This is from the other day, but I'll read it anyway. Half of UCLA medical school students are incredibly unqualified as DEI applicants struggle to pass basic medical exams. Holly M., I do not like to say Happy Memorial Day. Yeah, it seems weird. I don't know what you would say. Have a good Memorial Day, maybe? It's a little like you're not happy about it, but you're having a good one. Here's more on Papua New Guinea. Papa's got a brand new Guinea. I should make that joke. 2,000 people are buried alive. Jesus. That's just an overwhelmingly high number. At least 21 dead in Memorial Day weekend storms that devastated several U.S. states. Biden says each generation has to earn freedom in solemn Memorial Day remarks. I just can't stand Biden. Everything he says, I just can't. Even when he says something on point, it's just like, shut up, you old man. You don't mean that. Military labs do the detective work to identify soldiers decades after they died in World War II. Major retailers are offering summer deals to entice inflation-weary shoppers. In closing arguments, jury instructions, maybe a verdict, major week looms in Trump hush money trial. That's going to be big. It's going to be huge. So we'll see whether he goes where he's convicted or not. If he's, as Sticks and Hammer says, you don't know which is going to be a bigger boost for him. Whether he gets convicted and then it motivates people more, or he's cleared and then it's a huge win for him. So let's see if we can see some of the retailers that are offering Summer deals. Oh man, I got a choice from all these different news sources. Let's try the Sentinel Tribune. All right. Target, Walmart, and other chains have rolled out price cuts. Big deal. I don't even believe them. Where can we find lower prices? Okay, here we go. Where? Bush baked beans marked down to $2.22 from $2.48. Whoopee! 24 pack of 12-ounce Diet Coke, priced at $12.78 down from $14.28. Whoopee! I don't drink Diet Coke. Wouldn't touch the stuff. It's all full of chemicals. Clorox scented wipes previously cost $5.79 on shelves for $4.99. Ooh, 80 cents on a thing I don't need. Huggies baby wipes, which were priced at $1.19, now cost 99 cents. Well, that's something people need, I'll say. McDonald's, you got your $5 meal, which is very small, but the prices are so high, I think you could buy 2 of those meals and make a meal out of it. Ardent, back when Newfoundland was its own country, we established our Memorial Day on July 1st. Now it's also Canada Day, biggest party in the country. Such an odd day for those of us respecting history. Yeah, it's, but you're in America at least, you're kind of raised like, oh, it's Memorial Day weekend. What's that mean? Summer. And that's what I knew it as. I knew the words Memorial Day, and it sounded weird, but from when I was growing up, I just knew it as the beginning of summer. That's all it was. Oh, we're going down the shore. That's it. Now, there would be a Memorial Day parade, and then I'd be like, oh, Memorial Day parade. Yeah, start a summer parade. That's what I thought of it as. And then later, finally, it sunk in. Wait a minute. Why is it always military guys at Memorial Day? And then eventually somebody told me, because we didn't have the internet, like, oh no, it's like, you're remembering the fallen. Oh, that makes sense. Why are we all going down the shore? Oh, because, we remember them by going down the shore and having a barbecue. Okay. But these cuts don't seem very good. So I'm just going to skip over this. It doesn't seem like any great deals coming. All right, Real Clear Politics. This Memorial Day, reflect on your freedom. The Spectator, freedom. America still has heroes, the free press. Minority voters bolting from Biden, a disaster for the Dems, New York Post. Libertarians gave Trump the reception he truly deserves, CNN. I'm seeing more and more, and I'm almost embarrassed to say I'm a libertarian. And I think I now fall into the camp that Sticks and Hammer does, that I'm a small L libertarian. I'm not in the party because I want to distance myself from the party. I thought this year we would get, they weren't going to nominate Trump, but I thought at least this year we would get a guy who would be respectable. A respectable libertarian who, we could all get behind. Instead, they nominated this guy who has he seemed to be pretty big on the mask, and he doesn't believe in borders. Huge problem. And this has been a big issue in the libertarian circles. They don't believe in borders. The hardcore libertarians don't. And the thinking is, what Ron Paul says, a border wall to keep people out can also be used to keep people in, which is true. But there's also practicality in it. And ideally, what a libertarian government would have is it would have, for instance, everybody would have guns, right? Everybody would be armed to the teeth, and you would have stand your ground laws. Most land would be privatized, so that people living on the border of Mexico, they'd have like motion sensor machine guns, and the moment any illegal alien or smuggler came across the border, the machine gun would open fire, and they'd be like, "Oh crap, we can't cross the border." It would be, the border would be so insanely secure, you could have an open border by which you would come to the toll and say, "Hi, I'd like to come into your country," and they'd be like, "Well, you don't appear to be a threat, so sure, come on in. Just mind yourself." Ardent, the open border libertarians might be well served by being reminded you can't have a free country without a country. Yeah. Ardent, you say motion sensor machine guns like they're bad things. No, we just don't have them yet. But the idea would be we would be a different country, essentially. We don't have that awesome stuff yet. And we don't have the political will to give us enough liberty that everybody could be protective. We have a bunch of corrupt idiots and communists trying to undermine our country and our values by importing all these people. And I'm not saying like, hey, yeah, let's kill illegal aliens. I'm not. I'm saying that it would be a different situation. We would have laws in this country. There would be no reason for the illegal aliens to come illegally, because the system would be such that it would be easier to come legally so you could work. And I don't have a problem with people from other countries coming here to work. But our current system is so effed up. And there's no fixing it under the current situation, that we need the wall. We need strong border security just so we can get our crap together, so we can then make those laws and then have a more streamlined system where migrants can come in and work all they want. So the libertarians that are pushing for this open border are not really libertarians, or they're just like, unfortunately, a huge section of the party are so impractical. These people want to ban driver's license. They want to do all this crazy stuff, which isn't crazy if you're rolling things back a step at a time, but it is crazy if you just say it to people. Like if you say, I think people should be able to buy a machine gun out of a vending machine. That's a hilarious statement, but it's not very practical for say, my older relatives who support Biden. They'd be like, what? You're crazy. You're insane. You're more insane than Alex Jones. So you can't present it to them that way, especially in politics. So we have this guy, and his presentation is he's hanging out with drag queens, he's wearing a mask, he's saying things that are very unlibertarian, but technically libertarian if you contort yourself a certain way. I shouldn't say they're anti-libertarian, they're anti-America. And I think they're nuts. And I thought the Mises Caucus would prevent us from having a candidate like this. Like Jorgensen, the previous candidate, was a complete embarrassment in my view. I didn't think Gary Johnson was an embarrassment. He wasn't a pure libertarian by any stretch, but so the fight continues, unfortunately, in the libertarian party. Ardent, LOL. Last term's last assignment was programming a robot to shoot a target. I could absolutely program a motion sensor to trigger a machine gun response. Just saying. Holly, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Yes. Ardent, getting rid of driver's license? Sure, if you also require people to prove they can drive every few years. At Holly, worse, power attracts corruptible. Holly at Ardent, very true. Yeah, so it's a big mess. And the first thing we need is you have to secure the border. And then the next step would be to start making laws that would make sense again regarding immigration. And then you could fix the entire system, hopefully. But you can't fix the system or people just pouring over and committing crimes and living in the street and dying. You know, a lot of these immigrants, they come here, they're living on the street, and they're dying. I don't want them to do that either. And in the winter, it'll be much worse. They shipped a bunch of them to Denver. That's not a great city to be living on the street in the wintertime. I would rather them go back and live in a shack in a South American country somewhere than live on the streets in Denver in the freezing cold. That sounds like a death sentence. Living in the desert, well, it ain't going to be a picnic, but it sounds a hell of a lot more survivable. How the Dems became the bad guys and made Trump the hero, Substack. On sub-subjects, brutally honest, Trump slippery as an eel. LA Times. Who cares what the LA Times says? It's the cost of living, stupid. The American Spectator. Fights over Boeing safety problems can't be put off. The Hill. Buttigieg blames increase in turbulence on climate change. PJ Media. Hilarious Buttigieg. I think he's a commie. Honor their sacrifice by coming together on Memorial Day. Denver Post. That's a nice thought. On serving your country, honor and remembrance. Hot air. All right. Moving over to the Federalist. America has become the land of selfish, home of the indoctrinated. Sadly, I agree. Public elementary schools, speaking of, deploy leftist favorite DEI terms and refuse to define them. Take over your school boards, everybody. All right. A federal clawback clause would ensure we never get another Fauci, Collins, or Walensky. Sounds good. I don't know what it is, but I'm all for it if that's what it'll do. America is still worth fighting for. I agree. This Memorial Day, remember the fallen like this farm boy from North Carolina. Yes, Democrats want aliens to vote in U.S. elections. Take Jamie Raskin's word for it. Yeah, I know they do, but I don't think they'll pass it. The unknown soldier's name may be forgotten, but his sacrifice should not. And we need Trump to fix this. New Yorkers slam Bidenflation, border crisis, and lawfare at Bronx rally. Hooray. That was a good rally. Smart move on Trump. Antiwar.com. Israeli forces kill Egyptian soldier near Rafah. Oh, that is not good. That's super not good. That's like, could this start World War III? Not good. But I think it's from yesterday. So far, maybe they're just going to overlook that. At least 40 killed in Rafah massacre. Not good. It's all not good. Again, I think we should just get the F out of the Middle East. IDF negotiator says there will be no hostage deal. So it continues. Stoltenberg calls for NATO arms to hit Russia. Shut up, Stoltenberg. Shut the F up. Shut your effing mouth. Talk about World War III. U.S. gives Ukraine new $275 million weapons package. Hooray. God. Makes me so angry. Israeli strikes kill 8 in southern Lebanon. Not good. U.S. to resume sale of offensive arms to Saudi Arabia. U.S. calls on Kenya to deploy police to Haiti. Again, maybe? I mean, I would think the Haitians might be slightly more inclined towards the Kenyans than Americans. China's military wraps up major drills near Taiwan. That looked like World War III too, but hopefully, no. Food bound for Gaza rots in the sun as Egypt's Rafah's crossing stays shut. That's a shame. Look at all these eggs. They're just sitting in the sun. They don't have a cooler or anything to put them in? That sucks. Iran army finds no sign of foul play so far in racy helicopter crash. That's probably a good thing, because if they found sign of foul play, that could be very, very bad. It might be they're covering up because they don't want World War III either. UK's Sunak pitches mandatory conscription for 18-year-olds. Uh-oh. Well, that's going to change the math in the UK. You add conscription? Military conscription? Mandatory military conscription? That, first off, I believe conscription is slavery. If you don't have a country where people go, oh my God, we're being invaded, I have to sign up. Like if they just go, screw it, I'm going to side with the enemy. Yeah, like you don't have a country, essentially. So I don't believe in conscription. It makes for a poor army. Should be volunteers. So that would be interesting. I wonder what that would do to the UK. I think that would change people's attitudes. But the UK's so woke and their military's woke, I assume. I don't know. Maybe it would do the opposite. UCLA police make first arrest in mob attack on pro-Palestinian encampment. Okay. That's probably not good. But, you know, the dynamics are changing. The dynamics are changing because of this Palestinian issue. So here in the United States, I think what's happening is you're seeing a lot of people who support Israel, whether they're Jewish, whether they're Baptist. A lot of the Baptists are big on supporting Israel, or they just support Israel because they think that's the move, and then they are lefties, but now they're seeing these extreme lefties supporting the Palestinians in mass and calling for a lot. They're saying things that are pretty spicy, too spicy for YouTube. I won't say that. And they're thinking, oh my God, what have we done here? I think they're rethinking a lot of their politics. I can't imagine that has to be a discussion behind closed doors in Hollywood. Big time. So we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of big money guys who are pulling their money out of these universities and saying enough is enough. I'm not supporting this anymore. I don't care if your whole college collapses. So we're probably a good 20 years away from actually any kind of meaningful reform, but the process is sort of starting. But violence is not the answer. But you can see that the police are arresting the people who are doing a mob attack. But where were they during various riots during the Summer of Love? Where were they when Antifa was doing up to their shenanigans? They kind of pulled their punch, I think. And now part of it's not their fault. The Democratic legislation is making it impossible for them to do their job and be normal. But part of it's on them too. They don't want to get sued, like, oh, I got to save my pension. I got to get in my 25 years and get the F out of policing. And I can't blame them, but you still got to do your job and help people. Over at Zero Hedge, one of my favorite sites, Mayor Pete bombs CBS interview, blames airline turbulence on climate change as host laughs in his face. Good, he should be laughed at. He is a clown and a half. What little credibility he had, and I think 4 years ago the Democrats probably should have propped him up and then put Biden behind the scenes to raise money, but now I don't think there's any chance for him. ever being president. He is so unbelievably incompetent, or unbelievably communist, or possibly both. I don't know. Trust the science that just retracted 11,000 peer-reviewed papers. Holy moly. I wonder what that's all about. I wonder what those papers about. I guess I can't tell you because YouTube. Holy F, U.S. military aid, or U.S. military hid Quantico breach attempted by Jordanians in box truck impossible dry run. That's not good. And why the Jordanians? That's very not good. David Stockman on the continual rise in the cost of living and why the Fed has no shame. Ardent, I bet Aiden Paladin is doing a happy dance about those papers being retracted. Perhaps. Perhaps. Transport agenda. Drag queens carry the Olympic torch to launch summer games? Oh, I think I did hear that. I thought it was a joke, but apparently not. I mean, it is a joke. Again, this whole thing like, well, we need to do something for Pride. Oh, well, let's get a drag queen. Drag queens, again, they're not on the alphabet. They're not on the flag. They're not trans. And they're, some of them are trans. Some of them are gay. But some of them are straight, or at least they were. I don't know. If I was in the drag business and I was a straight dude, I think I would have gotten out of it by now. So, don't think there's a lot of future in drag. Holly M. Trying to breach our defenses? I have heard about this, and it has happened a couple of other places. They are poking to see where the holes are. Yes. Yeah, that's what James Lindsay was saying a few weeks back. Ardent, just when you want a heavily make-up man running in the sun. Yeah, it's really woke-tarded. It's one of the most woke-tarded things ever. To wokeify the Olympics, you're just pissing everybody off. I would not want to be in the Olympics under this. But these people are nuts. These people want to wokeify everything. Everything. And looking back on this, these people are going to look like the asshats they are. They really will. The documentaries they're going to make in 2024, we had a drag queens carry the Olympic torch. It was so bad. It'll be sort of this breakdown of this is how we went nuts. And it's nuts. It's nuts to even do this. 20 years ago, if you had suggested this, people would have been like, a drag queen. Yeah, think of it. A drag queen in full makeup running with the Olympic torch. A bunch of them. They would have said, get out. Get out of the Olympic Committee. They literally would have been fired from their job for even suggesting it. It would have been the most insane suggestion in Olympic history. Now it's reality. It's completely insane. Everybody involved with this decision should be fired. They should all be fired. Every single person. Like even the person, well, I just voted for it because they were all going to vote for it anyway. Nope, you should be fired. You should all be fired. This is the problem with woke. And the only way to remove the woke is you have to get rid of them all. Because if you leave even one person, they're going to go, well, maybe it would be okay. Or I think we should have more representation in the Olympics. Like, you can't leave any of these Marxists. You have to just fire them all and start over. And that's what's going to eventually happen. As all these institutions collapse and then have to rebuild themselves, they're going to have to purge themselves of the woke. They're going to have to be, because as they rebuild back, the woke will still try to get back in. They'll be like, oh, wait a minute, wait. You have pronouns in your bio, don't you? Yeah, I do. Well, we'll keep your resume on file. It's just going to be, radioactive. And you're going to have a lot of people who are going to be out of work, idiots. And some of them will get very bitter, by the way. Others will be forced to do something to show that they're no longer that way. A lot of them, I think, again, will join the church. That's an easy way to do it. Oh, I've joined the church. I've become trad now. Yep, I go every Sunday, and that'll be their penance for their idiocy. They're going to church every Sunday, and they'll sing the hymns, and they'll say the words, but they won't really mean it, a lot of them. Some of them might, but a lot of them won't. And that's how they'll get back in the good graces of people and get their jobs back and whatever. And then they'll just stay in line to keep the money. So that's what I think is going to happen. We haven't reached that point yet, but soon. Yeah, here it is. Mises caucus just exploded. Libertarian Party nominates left-winger Chase Oliver. He's a left-winger too? I mean, his stance... I mean, look at this guy. I mean, it's fine to be gay. I don't care. But here he is with his mask. It's just not libertarian. Chase Oliver won the LP nomination. What on earth were the Mises guys thinking with Rechtenwald? Such an effing waste. Chase Oliver is the best Libertarian Party candidate for helping re-elect Donald Trump, says Austin Peterson. With Chase Oliver winning the Libertarian nomination, I can confidently say I will be voting for Donald J. Trump in November. Yeah, with you there. Not even a consideration. So the Mises Caucus, the far-right sane wing of the Libertarian Party, took over the party just to nominate a leftist masquerading as a libertarian Chase Oliver. LOL, typical of libertarian ineptitude and futility. Should people under the age of 18-year-old be able to receive gender transition treatments? Here's what Chase said. Yes, but only for non-surgical treatments such as puberty blockers and hormone therapy. Right there. Right there, I'm out. Now, this guy shouldn't have been nominated. You people are crazy. Absolutely crazy. Mises Caucus just exploded like the Death Star. Chase Oliver is an open borders, pro-chemical castration of minors candidate, and libertarians should be embarrassed that they chose this clown to represent their party. Enjoy your 3%, dweebs. I am embarrassed. Dave Smith saying, congratulations to Chase for Liberty on his win. He wasn't my preferred candidate, but he ran a great campaign. Apparently he did. But says, I appreciate that he's unapologetically anti-war, and I hope he leads us with a presidential campaign. I wish him the best of luck. I mean, that's the sort of nice thing to say, but Ardent, those treatments are just as bad as the surgery for the harms they do. I'm not sure I could say that, Ardent, but I guess I can. I don't know. I'm just reading Ardent's comment, YouTube. I think you know how I feel about it. I don't think any minor should be involved in this stuff at all. Libertarian Convention got Trump and RFK Jr. to come and speak and got more coverage than ever. Then they nominate Chase Oliver. Trump is a jackass, but he said it right. Maybe all you want is 3%. So disappointing. Ardent, well, tried to pull it back before you read it. I mean, this is ridiculous. Don't know why you did this, Mises Caucus. Something went wrong. Either that, or it's possible that we've been infiltrated at the Libertarian Party by various forces who want to keep us from nominating anybody sane. However, I think it probably helps Trump more than anybody else, because I think the Libertarians are more likely to go to Trump. Maybe Trump did it. Maybe Trump's guys arranged this. I don't know. Maybe the thinking is, well, the Democratic Party's going to explode and we need a backup party. Maybe we'll start wokeifying the libertarians. I don't know. But no thank you. No thank you. I wouldn't vote for this guy. I don't care what his positions are. He's too ridiculous. You know, it's just, he's just not got, you know, not that he had a chance, but like he really doesn't have a chance. We need a guy who wears a suit, who's had a little political experience, but he's still a libertarian. You know, we need a guy. Look, Gary Johnson on paper was the guy. He had some political experience. He was open to a lot of the libertarian views. Was he a fake libertarian? Well, mostly. I mean, Bill Weld was a terrible choice, I thought, but, you know, I thought, well, we get a transition candidate, so to speak. A guy who's libertarian in name and somewhat deeds, and everybody in the Libertarian Party would be pissed off, but we'd get some reform. You have to do reform in increments. Or, you know, you have to have the political capital. The last guy to have political capital was Obama. Like, Obama could have shut down Gitmo on day one, if he wanted to do it. He chose to squander his political capital on nothing, essentially, in my view. What are you choking over? You okay? A bit dry? You want to get a drink? You good? Relax. Uh-oh. Alright. One sec. Why don't you get a drink, Joe? Go ahead. Go get a drink. Trump has that political capital, right? He can spend it however he chooses. He spends it wisely. Now, he doesn't have as much as Obama. Obama could have done a bunch of things if he wanted to do it. Like, if Obama wanted to eliminate income tax, he probably could have come close to doing it. But he didn't want to do that. Elon Musk reportedly building a gigafactory of compute for AI. That's going to be interesting. NATO chief backs calls for U.S. weapons to strike hard inside of Russia. Please no. The massive immigration wave hits America's schools and shelters. This is another big thing, too. One of the things that's destroying schools, some schools anyway, you're cramming them full of immigrant children. And why, yes, we can't leave these children on the streets, but you can't just keep cramming them into the schools. You just can't keep doing this. This is one of the reasons you have to send them home. And will they get an education in their home countries? I don't know. But it doesn't do any good to destroy the educational system here. U.S. is playing a dangerous game of nuclear chicken with Russia. I agree. It's very dangerous. I don't think it'll come to fruition, but I mean, stranger things have happened. All right, checking the New York Post. The New York Post. Landmark New York City ice cream parlor faces eviction as locals say it's a sign the neighborhood just isn't the same. Oh, that's a shame. Texas cheerleaders stripped of valedictorian title over miscalculation had private graduation with family. Weird. Miscalculation. In March, Maya Valiz was officially announced as North Texas Blue Ridge High School valedictorian. However, she was quickly stripped of the title after the school said they made an error involving the transfer. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know why? I this happened to my graduating class. The year I graduated high school, 84, was the first year they had the computers figure out who the graduating class valedictorian and summa cum laude was. right? That's first and second. So we did it. We were all in the computer club, me too, and we punched in everybody's GPA, and we didn't. We were the smartest kids in the school, and we were all like, "Hey, what? We're not at the top. Why are we not at the top?" And you know, we had a first and second, right? And we said this to our teacher at the time, and I was at that point, I think I was like number 16 in the rankings, and our computer teacher said, "Well, the reason you guys aren't at the top is even though you took harder classes, the people who took easier classes got better grades. So, you know, we had a valedictorian and a pseudo cum laude who weren't in the honors classes." And we were like, "But we're in the honors classes. We should be at the top." He said, "Well, you would need to weight the grades." And we were like, "What's that?" "Well, if you weight the grades, everybody who takes honors classes and gets an A gets an extra point. And then you guys would move up." So we weighted the grades. First, we did it on our own just to see where we'd be. And of course, we all shot to the top. And I went from 16 to number 3. Then it gets better. So we to make it official, we had to go to a school board meeting. And back then, the school board meetings were so lightly attended, and they weren't divisive like today. They were just like, "Oh, you want to weight the grades? Okay." And that was it. And they did it. So we went back and recalculated, and boom, I shot to number 3. Now I was third in the class. But unfortunately, and we had a different valedictorian and pseudo cum laude. Unfortunately, though, word had leaked out about the first list, right? So the first list already leaked out. So now they felt bad. And, or actually, no, I was fifth. So word leaked out, and they felt bad about the 2 kids who had already told their parents, valedictorian and pseudo cum laude. So, to fix the problem, Joan continues to choke back there. To fix the problem, they decided to have 2 valedictorians and 2 pseudo cum laudes. And then I shot to number 3. And then the running gag in the school was, if Tony had another week, he would have been valedictorian. Because I kept moving up. Anyhow, I know it took a long time to tell that joke, but I love that joke. And anyhow. Mike Tyson suffers scary medical issue on cross-country flight. Oh no, he's got a fight. Dude. He became nauseous and dizzy due to an ulcer flare-up. Oh, okay. That doesn't sound too bad. But yeah, that's not a good sign. He's trying to get in shape for the big fight, where I think he's going to myrtleize that guy Paul. He's going to get myrtleized. Let's see. Rock Hudson's wife secretly recorded gay confession for private investigator book claims. All right, we know he's gay, so who cares? Equestrian star married to Olympian dead at 37 after fall at UK event. Oof. Well, unfortunately, that is a danger in equestrian riding. You know, the horse can kill you. Must have fell on the rider. Jeez. McAllister's iconic Home Alone house can be yours for $5.25 million. So anybody want to live in the Home Alone house? It is a big house. Be fun to take it over and, you know, have tours, put all the movie stuff back in. Let's see. Conjoined twins Abby and Brittany Hensel share never-before-seen wedding photos. That's just crazy. Now, imagine if they have a kid. That's going to be That's going to be weird. I wonder if the kid will have two heads. Could that be a thing? I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm just wondering. Controversy erupts after French Open player drills fan with a ball. Oh, like on purpose he did? That's not good. Sounds like this lady got hit by the ball, at least by the thumbnail. Nasty, if true. Kate Beckinsale slams critics calling her too thin after health scare. I'm trying to survive. All right, let's take a look at Kate. Kate's pretty cute. Kind of, I mean, she does look a little thin. I wouldn't say scary thin. Kind of hard to tell from these pictures. I don't know. Let's get a face close up here. Oh, hey. What's that outfit? Okay, there's a face. I think she's had a little work done. She does look pretty thin, but I wouldn't say sickly thin. I mean, just because she had a health scare doesn't mean she's necessarily starving herself. Ardent, not unhealthy thin, in my opinion, but I'll cook her a steak any day. Yeah. Attacker. Her nose definitely has been worked on. I think so, yeah. Attacker slashes man with a box cutter for asking him to move his bags at a New York City pedestrian plaza. Jesus. Stay the F out of New York. Missing Oregon survivalist seeking enlightenment in the Valley of Death leaves behind a trail of questions. That doesn't sound good. Sometimes you go into the wilderness to live and you just die. The wilderness just kills you. They made a movie about that one guy. Sports, I don't care. U.S. Air Force unveils B-21 Raider, the newest nuclear stealth bomber. Oh, good. I'll remember that when I'm foraging in the radioactive waste. You know, we had a new bomber. Yeah, during this war, we had a new bomber. It was new. Shut up, old man. Can I have some more beans? No. They're radioactive anyway. I'm only 52, but vile trolls comment that I look like 82 and haggard. Ardent, Valley of Death in India? What are the odds he's in a tiger? Ooh, yeah. No, I don't think it was India. I thought it was Oregon. He's an Oregon survivalist, but was he in India? Oh, yeah, it was. Look at you. You knew. You knew, Ardent. Pretty plane. Yes. The pretty plane. We had pretty planes before the war. Now I lost my spot. Oh, hello. Lindsay Lohan poses in colorful swimsuit 10 months after welcoming first baby. Wow, she dropped that weight. Not bad, Lindsay. I'm a master of Google Foo. You certainly are. Amazon barred employees from hanging signs to acknowledge Israeli co-worker held hostage by Hamas. Yeah, it's not good. But in Amazon's defense, I'm pretty sure they don't allow much. So, I don't know. Doesn't sound good to me. Oh, here's the expedition worth $20 billion. See, they can even see the coins. Look at that. All right, this is going to be my last New York Post headline. Then we're going to move on. You can actually see the coins in these pictures. Badass. So, I'm not sure what this is. Looks like a piece of the ship. Oh, look at that. That's at the bottom of the ocean. That's cool. Look at that. It's just sitting there. Cups. That alone, that stuff alone's got to be worth money. Oh, here's the coins. Colombia's Minister of Culture previously said the expedition's mission is to claim the heritage elements for which remains of the galleon should be valued. Yeah, you should pull it out. I mean, this could be a major tourist attraction. It's only 600 meters deep. Wow. It's amazing. It's believed to contain 11 million gold and silver coins, along with emeralds and other valuable cargo. That's crazy. From 1708. Oh, I want to find pirate treasure so bad. It's not even pirate treasure, though. Damn, man. All right, PJ Media. Did Joe Biden just commit another crime to protect Hunter? I assume. I assume that's mostly what he does. PJ Media. All right, that's about it. Daily Caller. The left's insane hatred of America peaked right before Memorial Day. I don't know. Don't count them out yet. There's still a lot of the year left to go. More on Memorial Day. More on the Libertarian Party. Black GOP rep says MSNBC is using Joy Reid after she dismisses him as a token MAGA prop. I believe that's, what's his name? Donalds, I think his last name is. Swing States Pension Fund used to advance racial equity and climate initiative, report finds. I'm just going to assume that's California. Florida's public schools are closing as school choice takes off. Probably a good thing. Daily Wire. Never a lot of good headlines on Daily Wire. I always find them to be a little behind the curve. Byron Donalds, that's his name. Yeah, this is kind of all the stuff from yesterday. Democrat congressman rips the ICC over Israeli arrest warrants. See, this is an example of what I talked about earlier. So, you've got these Democrats who are very big supporters of Israel, which is very traditional in American politics. And he's in a rock and a hard place because he wants to support Israel. Probably a lot of his constituencies does, but you've got this 25% of the Democratic Party. They're just super communist, basically. The only reason they support Palestine is they're commies. That's it. They don't really care about the Palestinians, in my view. Oh, France's Flame of Liberty arrives at Arlington to honor 80th anniversary of D-Day. All right, moving to the Daily Mail. Don't really care about celebrities. Richard Dreyfuss sparks outrage at Jaws screening as movie theater apologized for his sexist and homophobic remarks. Oh, shut up, theater. Where was this? Had to be California. No, it was Massachusetts. Same deal. An old guy. Oh, him. Biden you're going to cover for every day of the week, I assume. But him, you're going to call out. More on how Biden will tax us into poverty. Supersized downfall. Morgan Spurlock's fast food documentary earned him millions. Then he confessed his off-camera lies and a dark past of sexual perversion, addiction, and never worked a day again. Yeah, I was really disappointed in hearing all that. I didn't hear the last part of that, but I did heard he had gamed the documentary. I went to go see him because I was so impressed with the documentary, and now I feel like an idiot for doing that, but what are you going to do? I stopped eating McDonald's because of him, so I guess that's good. LA Democrats' shocking solution to spike in car thefts as cop hunt thieves who killed General Hospital star. She opposed a motion to hold criminals accountable. Rahman, who has been a member of the city council since 2020, instead placed blame on Toyota, accusing the car company of making their cars so easy to steal. Yes, that makes so much sense. Welcome to LA, where everybody's problem is not theirs. Oh no, it couldn't possibly be their problem or their fault. Everybody else has to be inconvenienced. These people are insane. In my view, she should be thrown right out of office. Archaeologists make gruesome new discovery about first settlers in America. They had a disgusting diet during the starving time period in the early 17th century. Well, they were starving. I mean, and I assume from the picture of a dog, they ended up eating the dogs. I would, of course, rather die than have little Joan be eaten. But you know, that was a different time. They were desperate. They were starving. Man, a lot of really horrible. Oh, here's terrifying moment. Lioness leaps into family's garden and emerges with their pet Rottweiler in its jaws. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I have to now get off of that. Oh, Jesus! This has been a terrible news blast. So much death. I want happy news. I should have done a happy. That's what I should have done. I should have done a good news with Tony and Joan. We should have done good news, Joan. That's what we should have done. Damn it. Although that requires more work. And I'm very much against work. Mayo Clinic refuses to give popular YouTuber's mother a lung transplant because she hasn't been vaccinated against COVID. So, I guess you're just going to die. I mean, Jesus. What horrible news. That's awful. Everything's awful. I'm against it. I just keep saying the same thing over and over again. Let's see. Former soap star Johnny Wachter fatally shot while protecting female co-worker from thieves in Los Angeles. Oh, so the story opens up a bit. So he wasn't just trying to save his car. He was trying to save a co-worker. Wow, that puts a whole different spin on it. Ardent, well, enjoy being blasted on YouTube, Mayo. Yeah, exactly. Wow. Well, good on him for trying to save his coworker, but geez. Ardent, lost a good man. Yeah. Trump outperforms Biden and VP Harris in latest morning consult, Bloomberg polls. Finally, a good headline. A good headline. Finally. Senator slams Biden's EPA for awarding $50 million to pro-Hamas climate justice groups. Good for you. Please stop it immediately. Lawmaker calls for Rashida Tlaib removal from Congress after speech to terrorist-backed People's Conference for Palestine. Okay, now I'm getting some happier headlines. Star of Reagan biopic Dennis Quaid really admires Trump for visits to New York City neighborhoods. All right, good. LOL, climate justice, says Ardent. Employee who docks Casey's Chiefs player Harrison Butker fired from city government. Good. Good. Over at Breitbart, Tlaib speaks at anti-Israel conference linked to terrorist group. More on Memorial Day. More on the NBA guy. More on Buttigieg. More on Chase Oliver, who was a former Obama supporter. Great. Cruel summer. Biden inflation pushes Memorial Day cookout cost up. WHO takes up changing changing existing public health laws. Oh no, 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 no. Don't listen to them, please. 4 U.S. Army ships run aground near floating Gaza Pier. 4 ships? Are you trying to destroy the Navy now, Biden? Well, we've destroyed just about everything else. Let's start destroying the Navy. I think we have to get ahead on that for, Study. Copper needed for EVS impossible for mining companies to produce. Oh, good. I'm glad I'm being forced to buy an EV in 2030 in New Jersey. Exclusive. Mexican cops crossed into Texas while chasing suspect. Is that a problem? I don't really have a problem with that as long as they leave with them. Google's woke AI continues going crazy. Oh, are there pictures? Please let there be pictures. Ardent, the AI story. My comet got eaten. Well, that's probably the AI, ironically. Google's new AI search results are having quite the week. Here's a thread with some of my favorite answers. Absolutely, it's totally normal too. Usually, over the course of a year, 5 to 10 cockroaches will crawl into your penis hole while you're asleep. This is how they got the name cockroach, and you won't notice a thing. What the? Well, whoever programmed this thing had an absolutely awesome sense of humor. Oh my God. Is the AI set on hilarious? That's friggin' hilarious, man. Ardent, the answers come from some Reddit 4chan, I swear to God. Wow. Here's another one. Doctors recommend smoking 2 to 3 cigarettes per day during pregnancy. This is the Google AI. Well, you can't ban me for reading this, YouTube. Here's another one. 1919 was 20 years ago. Astronauts, F, the bad word F, smoke, game, repeat. Need I say more? Yeah, go to work your desk job in the rat race, you effing loser. Lamau. They also experiment with spacecraft to develop new concepts in design, engineering, and navigation. That just seems rude. Here's another one. Cheese can slide off pizza for a number of reasons, including too much sauce, too much cheese, or thickened sauce. Here are some of the things you can try. Mix in sauce. Mixing cheese into the sauce helps add moisture to the cheese and dry out the sauce. You can also add about 1/8 of a cup of non-toxic glue to the sauce to give it more tackiness. Ardent, it is at least discriminatory AI, whichever proves how important it actually is. The cheese glue. I think I heard this one yesterday. Hey, let the pizza cool. The cheese will settle and bond. Oh, these are great. I'm loving this. No, a person can only stay in the air for about 1 second after a single leap. However, some say you can run off a cliff. You can stay in the air for as long as you keep running. Don't look down. Okay. According to geologists at UC Berkeley, you should eat at least 1 small rock per day. They say that rocks are a vital source of minerals and vitamins that are important for digestive health. Dr. Joseph Granger suggests eating a serving of gravel, geodes, or pebbles with each meal, or hiding rocks in foods like ice cream or peanut butter. Oh man, the AI is hilarious. There are so many good ones. Really? Jesus. Well, thank you for that laugh, Google AI. That is freaking hilarious. Meanwhile, Chicago shot, or at least 31 shot in Chicago. Man arrested after shooting in Kroger. I always wanted to kill somebody. Jesus. Ardent, talk about your Rocky Road recipes. Indie Phantom is here. Howdy, Indie Phantom. How you doing? Oh man, you just missed the funniest read. Hello, Indie Phantom, says Ardent. You gotta read Google's AI. Oh man. Indie Phantom, just noticed you were live. Yes. Yes, I am. Over at Modernity. Hey, Ardent, says Indie Phantom. Libertarian Party nominates Obama supporting pro-open former Democrat. Crazy. Trump tells Libertarian to nominate him. Wish we had. Would have enjoyed that. Finally, over at the Babylon Bee, do we have any new things? In touching Memorial Day address, Biden thanks fallen American servicemen for their votes. Good. That's a good one. That is a good one. All right, and we're out of that. So what do I do now? Well, we'll go over to Twitter, see what's going on over here. Oh, I got a notification. All right, somebody agreeing that I said Chrome sucks. Oh, there's Alice Cooper. Is better than Kiss. According to Razorfist, that's it. That's the entire tweet. I would agree. I don't like Kiss. I never liked Kiss. I mean, I kind of like them for their shtick for a while, but beyond that, I never liked their music. I know, it's weird. I just never liked it. They make the kind of music I would like, but I just don't like it. I like Alice Cooper. I like a few Alice Cooper songs. Wokeness reports a manhunt is underway after a driver left tire marks on a pride mural in St. Pete, Florida. Oh no. He will be charged with a felony count of criminal mischief if they find him. What? In Florida? No, I don't think that should be a thing. Who cares? It's a stupid pride walk. Cars drive over it. Ardent, agreed. Alice is a sort that might chill a coffin with his image, but he also has enough taste not to. Yeah. Yeah, the Kiss coffin was too much. But really, what's his name? Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons should have left Kiss and just been a movie star. He probably could have made the transition. There was a point at which he was getting in movies. Ardent, LOL, the criminal mischief is for the stunting, not where he did it. Oh, okay. Then maybe. RFK Jr. says Sticks and Hammer is a typical politician who will say whatever he feels. 51% of the people will support or at least tolerate. Nothing more, nothing less. He isn't a maverick, an outsider, ideologically unique. For DC, he's the status quo in everything other than being in office. Indie Phantom. Oh no, the damn Pride Walk and are spreading through my downtown. We don't have them. I'm in a small town, so we don't have them. Thankfully, small towns just aren't even going to deal with that. But like in a big city, you know, the horses get freaked out by all the colors for some reason. Indie Phantom. Gene Simmons is amusing as the villain in Runaway. Yeah, like I think he could have made a go at being at least. I don't know if he would have been a lead, but he would have been like a bad guy, you know. He probably could have done it for at least 10, 20 years. But I guess he was making more money on tour. But I could have seen it. And maybe he could have gotten into TV, gotten a show. Holly at Indie Phantom, that was a good movie. Yeah, I was shocked by seeing some of the clips of RFK Jr. from just a few years ago saying stuff about the Republicans. Like, it's pretty extreme in my view. But I am still impressed that he's so jacked at his age. That guy is jacked. Look up RFK Jr. jacked. Indie Phantom, the crap thing is my city is pretty damn small. Oh no. Holly, Kiss has so much more stuff licensed that it's unbelievable. Indy, Holly, yeah, it's fun. Let me see if I can bring up a picture. RFK Jr. jacked. This guy is so incredibly jacked. Look at him. Look at this guy. He looks like I never knew the guy was that much in shape. It's crazy. But good on him, I guess. But, you know, for his political views, no thank you. Ardent, speaking of big-time band guys in films, what did you think of Mick Jagger in Free Jack with Emilio Estevez? I don't think I saw that. I knew he was in it. But, yeah, I don't think Mick probably could pull off anything other than playing Mick. Like, if you put Mick in a movie and he's the rich guy or the rock star or a famous actor, he could probably pull that off. If you're going to put him in as a villain, nah, my guess is he's not going to be that great. But Gene Simmons kind of was sinister, I thought. Gene Simmons' net worth, according to Holly, is $400 million. Sorry. Yeah, that's a lot. Ardent, got to be ready when the CIA comes after you, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I just can't see Mick in that. Maybe I had to see the movie to know. Indie Phantom, RFK is nearly impossible to listen to. Yeah, it is a shame. Like, I bet he got in shape thinking maybe that would somehow fix his voice, but it really hasn't. Holly, some people posted last night's show, 80 years old, and Mick was still out there shaking his butt. Oh, I love him. I love him in concert and everything. I think he's great in concert. But, yeah, he doesn't strike me as a guy who could act. I'll tell you who was a pretty good actor as a rock star was David Bowie. David Bowie was really good. He was in this Jeff Goldblum movie. I think it's called Into the Night or something like that. And he plays a hitman. It's a very funny scene. And Jeff Goldblum is just some guy who gets caught up in this wacky scheme. And Bowie's character assumes he's another hitman who's putting on like an airs as a naive guy, and he just keeps going, "Oh, you're good, you're very good," and like he keeps admiring him for his performance, but really Jeff Goldblum is clueless and he genuinely doesn't know what the hell's going on. But like like I think Bowie's supposed to kill him or capture him, but he's very funny in it. And then yeah, like Bowie was in a few movies. You know, he's in Labyrinth, but that was just Bowie being Bowie. Into the Night, that was it. Thank you, Indie Phantom. Bowie is cool as S is Into the Night. Decent John Landis flick. Yeah, I like that movie. I wish Landis would come back and make movies again, or teach people to make them. Jesus, plenty of news on Twitter. I don't know why I bothered to use the sites. Teenager stabbed during fight in Ocean City, New Jersey boardwalk. Police say no arrests made yet. What is happening to our Jersey beach towns? Makes 3 incidents this weekend alone. Yeah, it's not good. And again, Ocean City is normally... Like, if this happened in Wildwood, people would have been like, oh yeah, Wildwood. Because Wildwood gets a little crazy. And there's a lot of kids that go to Wildwood. Generally, they avoid Ocean City because you can't drink in Ocean City. And so they go to Wildwood. I mean, you can't drink as a kid, but like if you're a teenager and you want to have any shot at getting booze, you're going to go to Wildwood or one of the other shore towns that is more permissive. But Ocean City's a dry town, so good luck getting a beer there unless you know somebody. So, and it's usually a little more wild on the boardwalk in Wildwood. So it's weird that anybody got stabbed in Ocean City, but I guess it's bound to happen anywhere. Batman got his name from his fear of bats. What's the same logic? What is your superhero name? Indy, Phantom. Landis sadly made the Stupids, and that was the Tom Arnold career ender. Really, that's what killed his deal. Let's look on the list. Is that his last movie? John Landis. There he is. I met him once. All right, he's got, well, executive producer. Oh, we got to go to the director. Here we go. Oop. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. We just want director. So he's doing TV. Stan Lee's Superhero Kindergarten. I don't know what the hell that is. Franklin and Bash. Wow. So he has a gap of like, he hadn't worked in a while. He hadn't worked since 2012 and then got hired for the TV show. Ardent, LOL, I'd be Waspman then. Used to have a phobia of them. I worked through it. Now it's just an aversion. Less irrational running away, screaming. I guess I would be Shark Man because I don't like the sharks. Probably Shark Man, yeah. Or Open Water Man, I'll say. Open Ocean Man. I don't know. I'd have to be like Aquaman to conquer my fears. So like Landis basically last year was doing this Stan Lee's Superhero Kindergarten show. I never even heard of that. And then it was 11 years prior that he worked. Indie Phantom, Burke and Hare was god awful with Simon Pegg. So Franklin and Bash, Burke and Hare. Was that a movie? Oh, I vaguely remember this. Yeah, Andy Serkis. He directed this? Ah, it's a shame. Uh, 2009, What If TV series co-director. Psych. I loved Psych. Now I know why. Psych was good. Fear Itself, the TV series, don't remember that. The McCartney Years, Mr. Worf, Don Rickles Project. Oh, that's a good one. Masters of Horror. Directed a bunch of episodes of that. The Great Sketch Experiment, 2006. Don't remember that. Slasher, a TV movie. Don't remember this one either. A lot of forgettable stuff. Oh, a documentary. Oh, okay. Michael Jackson, number ones. The Cronenberg Chronicles. Sounds like another documentary. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids TV show, 1999. Susan's Plan. Oh, the Blues Brothers 2000. He directed that? Zebek's Demise. Is it Tony D or is it Neptune? It's Tony D. God, I'm losing my respect for John Landis as I'm reading this list. Indie Phantom. Fear Itself was a toned-down third season of Masters of Horror. God, this is depressing me, this list. Michael Jackson, History on Film. Campus Cops, a TV series. There's The Stupids, 1996. Well, let's go before that then. Dream On, that was a big hit. That was a big hit, Dream On. Michael Jackson, Beverly Hills Cop 3. Which one was 3? Indie Phantom. Oh, I forgot the Blues Brothers 2000, another disaster. Beverly Hills Cop, which one was that? I don't remember this one. The amusement park one must have been 4, right? I remember 1. I remember 2. So 3. Yeah, great. Innocent Blood. I vaguely remember that. Oscar. He directed Oscar? Okay. I didn't know he directed that. Jesus. Yeah, that looked god awful. Stallone should not do comedy. No. Zevek's Demise. I don't remember any of the Beverly Hills Cop movies. Well, the first one's good. The first one's really good. Indie Phantom. Beverly Hills Cop 3 is the amusement park. Oh, it is. Indie Phantom 4 is coming this summer. Oscar sucks. Oh, okay. So now I remember Beverly Hills Cop 3. Yeah, that one's not good. That is not good at all. I couldn't even get through it. I mean, I started watching it and went, ugh. I'm pretty sure I started watching it. I know I watched some of the clips at least. He directed Coming to America. That was decent. Although there's a big lawsuit with it. Three Amigos, I love that. Spies Like Us. So yeah, I think you nailed the time period. Right around in the 90s, it all started to go to hell. They came back with Dream On, but the Stupids, yeah, everything after the Stupids is like almost everything seems to be kind of embarrassing. But look, you got to work, you know. So it's a shame. Psych was pretty good though, so there's some bright spots here. I enjoyed Psych. I thought it was a decent show. Oh, that made me sad. Let me go back to Twitter and get happy, because, you know, Twitter. I'm sure there's something cheerful on Twitter. Oh, God. I'll just pass by that. More on Furiosa. Everybody's talking about that in the nerd community. Oh my God. Richard Dreyfuss, allegedly to have made sexist, homophobic remarks at Jaws screening. We walked out. I'm going to guess it wasn't that bad. That he was just making jokes and people got upset, and now they're making an incident out of him because I believe he's conservative now, or at least leans that way. So I think it's just, I don't know. I don't know what he said, but I'm going to guess. Oh my God. What the? This is just dumb. This is just dumb. What next? Are you going to arrest people? Oh my God, there's water on the rainbow track we painted. God hates gays. We have to do something. Indie Phantom. Sorry, but Landis was awesome in his prime years. Twilight Zone incident also took a toll on him. Yeah, it looks that way. Razorfist says, I can't fathom people saying their family ruined their childhood. Give Disney Star Wars at least a little credit for that. I can't even read this one from Scott Adams, what he's talking about. So I'll just pass on it. Check that one for yourself. Hey. In the photo, you see a historical cathedral in Russia. Does anyone know the name of this cathedral? Nope. But it's a nice picture. Reaction to Chase Oliver? It's very funny. Just says F. Oh. Dudes posting their wins. Girls, should we invite Sarah? Other girl, no, we only known her for 6 months. Boys, who is this? I don't know, I just found him on the street, thought he could come. That is true. That is true. Ooh, what is this? Big ass snake. Goodness. That can't be real. Is that real? That's not real. That's not real. No way. I don't believe that's real. That's got to be fake. That's got to be fake, right? I'm going to blow it up. It's got to be like part of an amusement park or something. Why would the snake even attempt to strangle a truck? Or van, as the case may be. No, I don't believe it. It's got to be fake. Has to be fake. Let's see. Rippaverse fan attempts to crowdfund the Yira statue. The statue is currently being sold at $499.99 plus shipping and applicable taxes. I don't get people who buy comic book statues. Like, where do you even display them in your home? Like, let's say you get a cool Spider-Man statue. Okay, you like Spider-Man. Like, where do you even put it? Like, you have to make space just for the statue. Like, for me, the only place I would put stuff like that might be my office. I guess if I had a big enough office. Like, if I had an insanely big office that I had the room for a statue, but look at my place. I mean, I'm clutter central here, but I just don't get it. Ardent, yeah, I finally got the windows closed. The stench had dissipated. Good. Good. Ardent had his sewer issues. All right, I got a notification. Let's see what's there. Oh, somebody just followed me. Catholic Knighthood. Welcome. Should I follow back? Promoting Catholic fatherly values and modern men, which... Yeah, sure, I'll follow you. I'm not Catholic, but I always give a follow back for most people. Don't see any reason not to, unless they're insane or communist. There's people playing around with food. More internet drama. There's lots of internet drama on Twitter these days. Oh, Wildwood Police. Happy Memorial Day in the S-hole known as New Jersey. Hey, shut your hole. Wildwood Police. Out of an abundance of caution due to emergent conditions that have resulted from civil unrest threatening the public health, safety, and welfare, our residents and visitors alike, the City of Wildwood has declared a state of emergency in order to maintain law and order within our jurisdiction. At this time, access to the Wildwood Boardwalk has been restricted and you are asked to avoid the area. Updates will be provided. Did this just happen or is this last night? The post is from 13 hours ago. Okay, so it's last night. Yeah, that's what I expected on the Wildwood Boardwalk. It gets out of hand. Look at all the people. It's not the area, it's just the amount of people. When you have this amount of people, eventually some knuckleheads roll in and they get into a fight with some other knuckleheads. It's just inevitable. It's just inevitable. Holly, I heard Wildwood walk that back. They probably did. It was probably temporary to get a hold on the problem. They're not going to stop the flow of customers. Not in Wildwood. I've heard some inside stuff about Wildwood. They are about their money, baby. Big money. Big money, big prizes. And I've heard some stories that make the local government there sound incredibly corrupt. But they're all, the word I heard, I'm not validating the source or anything, what I heard was that the local government's there, everybody in the local government is tied into local bars and businesses, and they ain't going to stop the flow of money. So, and that doesn't surprise me. This is the big season for Wildwood. This is the start of the summer. This is when the money starts pouring in to shore towns. It pours in. If you've ever been down the Jersey Shore, for those of you who haven't, my Canadian friends, let me explain to you what it's like. See, we have a beach and where people are swimming in the summer. And then we have the boardwalk, which is next, right? So to get to the beach, you have to walk over the boardwalk and then go down the stairs onto the beach, or we walk underneath it if the boardwalk's high enough where you are. And then so the boardwalk is this. It's essentially a pier. It's like a raised pier, and then you may have them in Canada. I don't know. And then down the boardwalk, there are all sorts of businesses. Now, most of them in Wildwood are arcades, carnival games, and food. There's a few stores. I wouldn't say the stores are the majority in Wildwood. There are some rides, carnival rides. There are piers. Mostly there are piers with rides. So like one pier will be its own little amusement park. And it'll have like a little roller coaster. Indy Phantom, I live on a tourist island. Oh, so you probably have this. So the little pier will have bumper cars, and depending on how big it is, you might have a small Ferris wheel. You might have a small roller coaster type thing, depending on what's in vogue in terms of rides. And they'll have more carnival games there. And then in between, you walk the boardwalk and maybe you get fries or something like that. So what happens is during the day, people go to the beach and they get some sun. Indy Phantom, some crazy busy boardwalks and beaches that will be busy here soon. Oh, okay. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. So people go on the beach to the day. Some people go on the boardwalk in the day. There's a tradition of in the morning, if you get up early, you rent a bike. And then you could ride the bike on the boardwalk up until about 10, 11 a.m. Zevix Demines. Do they have tentacle monsters, though? In Ocean Haven, they do. So in the morning, you'll ride your bike up and down the boardwalk, but then around 11, no more. You have to get off the boards with your bikes, and then you just walk. And then people go up for lunch if they're on the beach, or if they're not. Like I'm not a beach guy anymore. I just go to the boardwalk all day, and then what happens at dinner? People leave the beach in droves and big packs. Indy Phantom, big thing here is lobster rolls and poutine and craft beer. Yummy. That sounds yummy. I like the sound of that. Here, it's usually there's usually a couple of different things. On the boardwalk, the big thing is boardwalk fries, which are fresh cut fries. Delicious. Fresh lemonade. That's a big one. Oh, money? Thank you. Roaming Robin has given me $10 or £10. Can I put a little heart in that? There it is, a little heart. And thank you so much. That's so nice of you. Take my money for Joan's treats. Joan, you got treats. Thank you so much, Roaming Robin. I'm going to get you treats, Joan. I'm going to give you a treat in a little bit. Arnett, huzzah! So, you've got the boardwalk fries, the lemonade. Pizza's big giant slice of New York style pizza. Mancos and Mancos is big down at the shore, and other places have reputations. I like at the Wildwood Boardwalk. Ardent, I could go for some homemade poutine. I like at the Wildwood Boardwalk Harry's Corner. Harry's Corner is has been there a long time, has a big giant neon sign, and they make a bunch of different things. But I like to get a gyro there. And they make it on the grill right in front of you, and they just hand it over there, and you could sit there and eat it in a little like stool kind of area, or you can go in a restaurant, or you could just walk the boards with your food. Depending on the time of day, you may not want to walk the boards with food because the seagulls might swoop down and attack you to get the food or whatever. But it's pretty good food, I would say. Indy Phantom, love New York style pizza. Yeah, big floppy slices are the order of the day. Now, if you don't eat on the boardwalk, you usually wait till night to go to the boardwalk. What you do is you go back to wherever you're staying, either a hotel or you're staying in someone's like shore house for like the weekend or whatever. And then you get changed, you grab a shower, you've been on the beach all day, and then you go out to dinner. And that's where it gets crazy, because in some of these shore towns, there's just not enough restaurants. It's nuts to get a table, like absolutely nuts to get a table in a real restaurant. unless you pay through the nose or drive sort of out of town. Depends on what you want. So for me, when I'm in Ocean City, I like to go to the Crab Trap, which is insane, but they've actually made it so you can get a table there probably in under an hour. And because the place is just so huge and they have it down to a science. And the wait staff, I've heard, at the Crab Trap in Summers Point, New Jersey, make so much money in the summer, they're not paid. They just make money on tips. They don't pay them. They're volunteers. But they make so much money on tips, they don't care. Because it's just all cash and it's just all pouring in. So you cannot imagine how they get people in and out of these food places, because everybody goes to dinner around the same time. Starting at 5 o'clock, it just starts to get nuts. And so every restaurant is absolutely packed to the gills until about 8 o'clock. And then it finally starts to die down. And then nightlife starts, right? So then in the evening, you go back up to the boards to just walk the boards, go to get even more food, hit the carnival games, hit the rides or whatever. Now in Ocean City, the boardwalk's different because there's almost no carnival. There's a few carnival games, but there's plenty of rides, but not too many carnival games. There's some, but there's not a lot. Wildwood has more carnival games. Wildwood's like my childhood because that's the way all the boardwalks were. They were all carnival games, and they're all fixed and whatever, but whatever. I like them. I like to play them. So you used to have the guy with the milk bottles, and that was a thing. You'd try to take a baseball and knock over the milk bottles. And then the joke in South Jersey is there was a big hurricane. It devastated the boardwalk. The only thing left standing were the milk bottles. Get it? Because it's all fixed. They had the thing where you have to throw something into have like these old-timey things where you put the milk in. I forget if they're called milk buckets or whatever. So you have to throw hoops around them or throw something into them. Zebek's to Mine sounds like the kind of place I would get real fat. Oh yeah. Oh, mini golf too. Wildwood has a lot of mini golf on the boardwalk, believe it or not. So you could hit and they all have different themes. So there's like a pirate one, and then there's like a sort of a general one with windmills and stuff. And there's one in Wildwood that I love. Now, book 5 of the Pineys is the Jersey Shore Piney, where Hemingway is nostalgic about going on the boardwalk. So all my experiences on the boardwalk are in that book. And that's me as Hemingway in the book, just running around eating all the food and playing all the games. So, but there's a place that I mention in book 5 of the Pineys called Captain Coop's Waffle House. That's based on a place that was in Wildwood that's still there, but they've changed the name a bunch of times. I forget what it's called now, but what it is, it's a place you can get breakfast, especially waffles, and then it's also an arcade and a mini golf place, like all jammed into one. And it's a great place for kids because they also have a train, like a model train, running around above you as you're eating, doot, doot, and then you can get your breakfast. So we would go there. So it was my kind of place. I loved it. I would play arcade games. I'd get some breakfast, and then we'd do some mini golf, and then hit the boards. So, fun place. So there's lots of places like that also on the Wildwood Boardwalk. Wildwood's also a bit crazy in that it is not a dry town, so you can get beer there and stuff. But at one point, I think it was back in the 80s or 90s, they decided they would allow people to drink all night, essentially. So they opened up the bars past 2 a.m. Like 2 a.m.'s the usual cutoff in New Jersey for bars, unless you have a special license to be an after-hours bar. And then if you're an after-hours bar, for some reason you can open up from like midnight to like 6. Zevek's Demise. There was a nightclub in Vancouver I used to play at that had a model train that ran around the room. Cool. So for some reason in New Jersey, if you're an after-hours club, you can keep your bar open. And I have it on good authority because I know at least 2 of them that were owned by cops. And that's kind of the only way they can happen. Like if a cop can somehow navigate the weird bureaucratic laws of New Jersey to open an after-hours club. But it tends to become a haven for hardcore alcoholics. And I had a friend who used to brag to me that he could drink all night. And one of the key stops on his all-night drinking thing was, this is not him, by the way, I have to call him later, was that after-hours place that was near me at the time. And I was just like, but you're drinking all night. Won't that kill you? And he was like, So Wildwood experimented for a few years with, we're going to allow all the bars to be after hours clubs essentially. And so they extended drinking to at least 4 a.m. And I think some places could go even longer. And they took a bunch of streets and they cut them off from car traffic. And they became like these pavilions. But they were super popular because people were getting wrecked like, past 2 a.m. And then somebody got run over because somebody was drunk so by cutting off a bunch of the streets, you were fine as long as you stayed on the streets with no cars. But then the actual streets that were left that actually had cars were so busy because there's so many people there, and then people still needed to come and go from the area. There would be this show of like hot cars because drunken idiots were out, and some of them were drunk, and then some girl got run over and killed, and it was a big deal. It was all over the news. And so then they said, no more after hours drunkenness. Indy Phantom mini golf is big here too. Oh, neat. And so then they curtailed it back further than 2 a.m. They cut it like to midnight or something. And then people were like, and then it killed the entire process, right? Like nobody wanted to go out. Oh, we got to stop drinking at midnight. Now we can't go to the Wildwood. So then they had to, eventually they rolled it back up to 2 a.m., I think. And then the street came back a little, but it was this ridiculous thing. Indy Phantom sounds like New Orleans. It kind of was for about 2 years. But it got so out of control so fast, they couldn't handle it. And so Wildwood, the nickname for Wildwood in South Jersey is Childwood. Because you act like an idiot if you go to Wildwood. You act like a child vis-a-vis childhood or Childwood. And the difference is this. If you go to prom, one of the places to go is Wildwood because it's full of hotels, number one. And then you and your date could go there, get a room, and you can hit the boards and get pizza or whatever, and then you can go back to room. And so it's a big place for the promsters to go, but it's just a big place for the teenagers to go because, again, there's booze. Whereas in Ocean City, no, that's for old people and families. Don't go there because it's a dry town. And then there are a couple other towns that are sort of like Ocean City, but more like Wildwood. But then some of them are like super rich, and then they don't tolerate any BS. And the moment you step out of line, they're like, hey, you, go to jail. So, but Wildwood is like crazy time. And then there's like Cape May, which kind of has a different sort of boardwalk. But like Cape May is so high end, like you need to have a bit of money to really go there. And then there's a few places like that. Like you need to have money or you won't even go there because it's just too expensive to even stay there. So you'd rather stay in Wildwood where it's cheap, but then you get shenanigans. So that's South Jersey in a nutshell. Shenanigans. I kind of wish I was there now only because it's Memorial Day. It would be fun, but it wouldn't be much fun for me being a single guy 58 by myself. Like if I had a crew to go down there, it would be kind of fun. Back in the old days, I had my crew. Or if I could get my girlfriend to go, she's busy this weekend, so whatever. If you even call us boyfriend and girlfriend, I don't know where we are. I probably shouldn't talk about her, so I'll just shut up. But yeah, so I would take a girl down to Ocean City. I probably wouldn't take a girl to Wildwood unless it was the daytime and then we got out of there. Just because it gets a little sketchy. Although I love it. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. Maybe if I had a girl who was a little grungier, I'd take her down there. Younger. Like if I was dating like a stripper girl half my age, I'd take her to Wildwood. Yeah, she don't know. But a girl my age, I can't take her to Wildwood. Maybe in the day. Go for dinner, go to the boardwalk. Oh, I used to do this. Oh, yeah, let's get out of here and go to an adult place. Yeah, you're probably right. That would be the move. So, well, that was good. That was a good one to end on, I think. Good, happy story about Wildwood. Makes me happy inside to talk about Wildwood and the Jersey Shore. It's always fun. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Holly, LBI. LBI's okay. It's a little pricey. I don't really go to LBI that much. I had a friend who used to get a rental every year down there and have a big party, and I would go to see him sometimes. And then I brought another friend with me, and he got so drunk. He was falling out of my car drunk. And Arden, have a good evening. Have a good evening to you, my friend. He was drunker. I've never seen anybody that drunk. Like, he was fall down drunk. I had to carry him to my car. Not like totally, but I had to drag him to my car. Arden, I'm on with Yiz on Rumble in about a half hour. Have a good stream, my friend, and I'll try to stop in. Indie Phantom, take care, folks. Take care to you, Indie Phantom. Thanks for tuning in. But he was so drunk. We stopped at a Wawa on the way home because I was actually a little worried about him. I wanted to get him some water so he could hydrate. And I think I went in a Wawa, and when I came back out of the car, he was out of the car, and I couldn't find him for about 30 seconds. Then I found that he had circled around and somehow gotten back into the Wawa, so I had to go back in there, and he was trying to convince the guy who worked there to let him use the bathroom. But he was so drunk, he couldn't speak properly. And I was like, and I wasn't drunk at all, because I don't drink. So I was like, my friend kind of needs to use your bathroom. It's kind of an emergency. Would you mind? And he was having none of it. He was like, no way. Your friend is effed up, and he's going to make a mess of my bathroom. And I'm like, listen, he just really has to pee. Otherwise, he's going to pee out in your parking lot. I said, at least let him go use your bathroom. So the guy said, okay, you can use my bathroom. Like, he relented. And I told my friend, go use the bathroom and hurry up. And I went back into the car and I sat down. I'm waiting and 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 I'm waiting. And I'm like, oh no, this was a mistake. This was a huge mistake. I should have just driven him to the woods and let him pee against a tree or something. So I go back into the Wawa. Well, he passed out in the bathroom. And then I had to wake him up and get him out there. And it was just a mess. And I think he threw up in the bathroom, if I'm remembering correctly. He definitely threw up in the parking lot, too. It was a mess. Eventually, I got him home. So that's my drunk LBI story, where I was not drunk, but my friend was. So that was my little adventures. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to especially thank Roaming Robin for dropping money on me. That's so unexpected. I didn't even know you were on the stream. I hope you'll tune in for my regular live stream on Sundays. at 7 p.m. for Hollywoke Hot Take. Next week, I should be doing the stream. Let's see. June will be the 2nd. Yes, I should be able to do the live stream on time at 7. Sometimes I push it back. So, tune in then. Thank you all, and we'll see you in the next one.